Us for the news at 6. I'm Haley Boland. Mike Sela and Don Baker have the night off. Tonight at 6, hours-long testimony today in the trial of a man accused of blowing up his ex-wife's car. Barry Wright faces weapon of mass destruction charges after federal prosecutors say he remotely detonated a bomb in his ex-wife's car while she was driving in Midtown Savannah. WTOC's Flynn Snyder is live outside U.S. District Court. Now, Flynn, this trial has been years in the making.
Yeah, Haley, this explosion happened back in July 2019. Now more than 5 years later, day 2 of this trial centered around whether Barry Wright was captured on surveillance footage purchasing prepaid phones. It's how prosecutors say he was able to remotely detonate a bomb in his ex-wife's car. On the stand for hours Tuesday, an investigator from the Savannah Fire Department's arson unit described what was recovered in Wright's house, truck, and ex-wife's car after the blast. The investigator also recounted how data from a phone found in the blown-up car led him to a Southside Walgreens, where a masked man was seen on surveillance footage buying prepaid phones with cash just days before the explosion. When asked by prosecutors who is on the surveillance footage, the investigator replied, "Barry Wright." During opening statements, prosecutors said Wright used prepaid phones to remotely detonate a bomb in his ex-wife's car. On cross-examination, Wright's lawyers questioned the investigator's credibility in identifying Wright, noting he had no documented interactions with the defendant and had not seen him since his July 2019 arrest. The arson investigator also said he never asked Wright's son or ex-wife if they could identify Wright as the suspect on the Walgreens security footage. It all comes after several neighbors and first responders testified earlier that the 2019 blast at Columbus Drive and Reynolds Street shook houses and stoked fear among residents there. And that arson investigator also testified that after the blast, a circuit board and batteries were recovered from Wright's ex-wife's car. Now, Haley, this is being described as a complex trial with a lot of evidence being presented to jurors. Today, the judge in this case cautioned to prosecutors that some of the jurors appeared frustrated and bored during the large amount of photo evidence, at times being described as repetitive photo evidence being presented in this case. Testimony wrapped up here about a half hour ago. The court is expected to be picking up tomorrow morning. Wright's ex-wife is still expected to testify at some point in this trial. Remember, she was sent to the Augusta burn unit following this blast with injuries that investigators describe as severe burns. Of course, we'll keep tabs on the courtroom, bring you any updates as they become available. For now, we're live in Savannah. Flynn Snyder, WTOC News.
All right, Flynn, thank you. Well, here's a look at how we got to this point in the case. The car explosion happened back on July 2nd, 2019. A few days later, Wright was arrested after police searched his house, cell phone, and workplace. Then in August 2019, Wright was formally charged. Last January, Wright was released on a $50,000 bond and put under house arrest until the trial started. Fast forward to this week. The trial started yesterday and testimony continues. Well, Noah's Law is being proposed by the